Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. John F. Kennedy. Welcome to Progressive Voices of Arizona, a place where people can discuss the issues that affect people all over the nation and look for possible solutions to restore society's humanity. Kick off your shoes, grab yourself a snack and something to drink, and listen in with Scott and Kara, your hosts of Progressive Voices of Arizona.
And welcome, everybody, to another interesting and exciting, we hope, episode of Progressive Voices of Arizona. We are striving to get people to start communicating without the hate and without the anger and without the childishness about issues that are important to everybody. It's kind of funny because most issues are important to everybody. It's just how to solve them is where we see the big conflict. So Progressive Voices is on Facebook at ProVoicesAZ, facebook.com/ProVoicesAZ. We're on Twitter. We're on Tumblr. I don't know if we're not on Instagram, and we're not on Tinder, so we don't get anything there. Anyway, so tonight we have a good show going. My name is Scott, and I'm here with my wonderful wife, who is the co-host. What's your name again?
Let's see, it starts with a B. Oh, no, it's Kara.
And so tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about elections. For those of you that don't know, Kara and I had three-time former candidates for the legislature. Kara ran 3 times for the Arizona House of Representatives, and I ran 3 times for the Arizona Senate. And that's state level, not federal. So we're working at trying to, kind of give information to people on how to motivate people, how to, and then, we're going to, in the second hour, first hour, we're going to talk about how to motivate people, specifically women, because we do have an issue getting women to actually participate and getting them on the ballot and making them effective. So we're going to talk with Rebecca Winiger, who's our first guest, about that. In the second hour, we're going to be talking to Kara Nicole and myself and Kara about some of the pros and cons of running for office and what it's like, so you can kind of get an idea of what the normal people like ourselves...
Normal? Really?
Okay, well, average people like ourselves had to go through to get our names on the ballot and to actually make it work. And in the third hour, we're going to talk to 2 candidates, one who is running for the Arizona Senate, his name is Radim Johnson, and one who's running for the Apache Junction School Board, and his name's Brandon. So, Braden, I'm sorry. Well, Braden, Brandon, it's close. So, our first guest, of course, is Rebecca.
Yay!
And let me introduce her. Rebecca is a information technology consultant by day, superhero by night. She enjoys Comic-Cons and politics and all of her off time.
Long walks on the beach, what?
Yeah, something like that. She is a board member of Emerge Arizona. And Emerge Arizona is a training program that identifies and encourages Democratic women to run for office. Welcome to the show tonight, Rebecca. We are very happy to have you here. By the way, Rebecca is a friend of ours. We've known her for several years. So
I scare her, though. So
yeah,
it's okay.
she's not afraid of me, but she's afraid of Kara. Go figure.
Only at Comic-Con when she's wielding that lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
So, Rebecca, kind of give us a little bit of background about what Emerge is, so that we can kind of start there.
So Emerge was actually founded in 2002. This is actually our 15th year nationally, and it in Arizona was actually one of the first chapters of that organization. And Emerge is dedicated to finding progressive Democratic women identifying them and then encouraging them to run for office. And then we actually do training seminars on taking you through the ropes, everything about how to find your win number, to communication, to, the ability to go out and walk your precincts and your districts and everything from the nuts and bolts of your campaign to fundraising. So we cover it all in about a 6-month course.
And so it's been going on here in Arizona for quite a while, and you guys have actually had some very successful candidates come out of that. I believe Senator Katie Hobbs has been through the program. I believe Representative Pamela Hanley has been through the program. So you guys have had some really good success in helping women to get there. How do you? I mean, is there actually some sort of a reason why we don't see more women running for office? I mean, where do you look at from that?
Well, I think women are of a different mindset when we think about politics, and a lot of it has to do with how we are raised, and I think a lot of times what we go through day by day. I was giving this some thought today, but when we even apply for a job, sometimes we'll look at a job posting, and the job will have 6 boxes that they want checked for their incoming employee. And I think a lot of times women look at those 6 boxes and say, ooh, I only have 5 of the 6. I cannot apply. And then men will look at it and say, oh, I've got 3 of the 6. I'm going to throw my resume in there. I sometimes think that we almost need permission to run. And that's a big thing that we see and emerge, and I think that's one thing that we're really starting to break down because, especially after what happened last year in our elections, people are upset. I mean, they're angry, they're annoyed, the emotions are just coming out, and I almost feel like a lot of people feel like we're going to lose our way of life if we don't stand up and do something. And I'm not sure about what we're seeing across the nation, but I know here in Arizona, we usually have 3 LDs that have fairly good turnout, and that's usually like LD 18, LD 24, LD 26 and LD 28. Actually, there's 4. And, usually they would have 60 to 70 people a month show up for their legislative district meetings. And now those LDs are having 150 to 200 people show up. And LDs, where we used to get 15 to 20 people, they're now having 70, 80, 100 people show up that are like, how do I get involved in the process? What do I do? How do I make a difference? And I think this last election really woke a lot of people up, and we're starting to see that, and it's frankly, to me, a good thing.
Yeah, and we've actually seen that out here in our district, because our district is just red as hell. And before January, our average meeting for the Democrats in our district was 5 people.
And most of that was the board.
And that was just the officers, that showed up and had lunch and did officer business. But since January, we've gone from, I think in January, our first meeting in January had 10, 12 people. And then in February, we had 25 people. And then our last meeting here in March was 33, 34
Our very
people.
first meeting in Santan Valley, and it was quite the turnout.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're actually seeing, I've already signed probably 6 different PC forms to get appointed PCs from people that I don't know, that are ready to step up, and actually all of them have been women, which to me is, I think, is indicative of the idea that look at how many attacks our mostly white male government officials are putting up against women. And I think women are now starting to say, okay, I don't need permission anymore. I'm going to take this sucker down, and it's a good thing. Because I think that what they've done is actually starting to motivate women past that point that you were talking about thinking that we need permission. Kara didn't need permission.
Yeah.
I needed permission from her. So, she was like, fuck yes, I'm going to run. And I'm like, okay, can I run? Well, let me think about that. Really? Seriously?
We even joked about like running for the same seat just so we could have a fucking primary.
Yeah, that would have gone over well. But so
Yeah, you know,
go ahead.
you could have been a drag on the Scott. Scott, you could have been a drag on the ticket, you know. That's what she was looking at.
Yeah. But we've already got in our district. I mean, last year was the first time we had 3 actual candidates since probably in 20 years for our district out here, or in our regional area, since the district has changed 3 times in that period. And we've already got 2 that are probably going to declare sometime in the next couple of months. So we're still looking for
And
our
no,
third.
it's not us.
And it's not us this time because we're
We're tired.
you know. Now, for if you were to like meet people who are interested to run for office, because we do have a teacher out here that we've talked to who has kind of indicated that she might want to. She's young. She's probably in her late 20s,
She's fiery.
early 30s. She's very fiery. She's very knowing about education in Arizona. What kind of advice would you give her, or recommendations would you give her if you were to sit and talk to her about how to get started, or what her steps should be take if she's interested?
Well, the first thing that we always encourage people to do is get involved in their LD, because I don't think any candidate really has a shot unless you know the people in your legislative district, you have their support, and their backing in a lot of ways. And plus it also helps you get people who can potentially volunteer to walk for you, help supplement your ground game. If they like you, they might become, your financial donors. So, and also, too, you're going to have some veterans there. I mean, out in your district, I know you guys are committed to not running anymore, but I would see you as mentors to whoever wants to. So,
Right.
There's a wealth of information. There's a wealth of information in those districts. The second thing is find a training program. Emerge is definitely, we are a women-based training. We have seen such a demand for it, though. We usually might accept 20 people for a class, and we hold 1 class a year. I mean, this year we've got 35 in our class. A number probably had to turn away another 15 to 20, have other people on the wait list, and now we're actually going to do a 1-week intense summer program because there's such a demand for it. So, and we're not the only ones, Democracy for America has training. Arizona's List, which is the Arizona version of Emily's List, has training. There's a program here called Leading for Change that does both men and women. And I believe, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the Progressive Democrats of America also have trainings.
Yeah, I think the PDA does trainings and work with federal candidates, because they're not a state PAC; they're a federal PAC, so they have to be careful about that. But yeah, I do believe I know that PDA does do some training for activists every year. So and it's good. It's a good thing to see that we're seeing so many people that are actually stepping up now and wanting to actually participate, because it's just unreal at this point in time just what kind of a shitstorm we're in. Depending, of course, on which side of the aisle you sit on. I think there's a lot of people sitting on the right side of the aisle now that are going, what the fuck did I do voting for this guy? And that's good, because now they can actually accept that they've made a mistake and say, okay, how do I fix this mistake? So, and I think we have a lot of ways to go.